Welcome, everybody, to your full moon in Scorpio angel messages and overall energy update. Hi, everybody. I'm Devon, Duerr, angel intuitive and spiritual teacher, and you are very welcome here. We're going to be talking about this overall energy. We will be doing all 12 signs. I'm going to start with the Celtic cross to give us a really good idea of what we're going to be experiencing collectively. Then we'll break it down to all 12 signs. And as always, I will have your bonus angel messages at the end with 2 actions to take right now at the time you are hearing these messages. I do always encourage you to listen to all 12 signs because you have all 12 signs in your chart. Even if you don't have any planets in that sign or you know nothing about astrology, you still will be affected in those areas at different times based on aspects and transits. So I encourage you to grab your journal and write down anything that comes through, no matter what sign it is, any people, places, or events that come up for you. When we break it down for all 12 signs, we always go over these 3 areas of your life: your health and fitness, your career and finance, or if you're retired, that could be your legacy or your grandchildren. And then, of course, your relationships, which doesn't just mean romantic. This could be children, parents, friends, bosses, colleagues, right? So we're going to do that for all 12 signs in just a moment. Once we get to overall, I will be putting the timestamps at the end so you can come back as many times as you want. I just really encourage you to give your future self that gift of hindsight by writing everything down so you can connect the dots and understand the ways that you're being guided. So anything that pops into your mind, you don't forget, and you can come back and listen to these messages as many times as you want because it will be up as a recording in case you're not able to catch it live. But hello to everybody out there. I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. This full moon is happening on May 12th. I am doing this live early, so there's time for people to view it, but it's happening on May 12th, and it's happening at 22 degrees of Scorpio, which is really interesting. And the other thing, if you know me, I'm really big into angel numbers. I have an entire video series on different angel numbers. And here in Central Time, where I am in Texas, this full moon apex is at 11:55, which is definitely an angel number for my spiritual team and me. We all develop our own language with our own spiritual team, which is not just your angels, it's spirit guides, passed away loved ones, ancestors, even spirit animals, and we develop our own language with them. And I have over time been able to develop a very intricate language using angel numbers, repeating numbers, numerology. So the fact that this full moon is happening at 22 degrees, for me, this is showing me it's a little bit of a volatile full moon. It's a little bit of an opportunity. It might even be a portal. So that's one of the things you want to keep in mind too, because 22 nets to a 4. It is a master number in numerology. So in numerology, you wouldn't net it. It vibrates, stays at that 22 vibration, but sometimes can vibrate a little bit to the 4, which you often hear the phrase 4 is the door. So we're going to look for the opportunities with this full moon, and that will be a big thing as we go over this Celtic cross to get started. We're going to start looking to see where there are opportunities for releasing, because we are all affected by this full moon, whether we pay attention or not. Our bodies are 60-70% water, and the moon affects the tide. Of course, we're going to feel this energy, and it's an energy of releasing, of letting go of things that no longer serve us, or revealing things, right? If you actually have the chance to go stand under the full moon around this, I really encourage you to, and notice the different things that are revealed on the surface of the moon that you can't normally see. So we're going to be looking for things being revealed, and this could be information coming out, all kinds of things that are surprising to us, and it may be things that we kind of were like, something's off there, and then we finally get that validation. So we're going to be jumping into this Celtic cross right here, but please do let me know if you're here in the chat or later. I love reading every single one of your comments. It really means so much to me to connect with you this way, and let's dive into the overall energy here. Getting started here, we have Virginia Parker. Hello, Virginia. Hubert, good to see you. Oh, thank you. Happy Mother's Day. I appreciate that. Yes, we're going to be doing a little celebration this weekend. We'll be doing it a day early, actually, with my mom. But thank you very much. Oh, I'm so grateful you're here, Virginia. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, Christy. Great to see you here. Yeah, let me know if you're already feeling this energy for this full moon, because I certainly am, and I'm seeing it with those around me feeling tired, feeling cranky. Now, at the time I'm recording these messages, this live we're doing, the moon is in Virgo, which does tend to make us notice things that are a little out of line, but that's all for our own benefit so that we can figure out the things that need to be put back into alignment. So at the heart of our spread for this full moon, we have the Magician, Archangel Ratziel. It says, you are ready. You have the resources and the ability to manifest. Life is magical. What an amazing thing to have right in the heart of your spread for this full moon. And what your spiritual team and your angels are addressing with this card is that you're wondering if you're ready to take action. Am I really ready for this next step in my life, for this next change? A lot of times in order to make a change, you have to first let something go, right? Let's say you're ready to finally move and you're like, am I ready to sell my home that I've been in for a long time? Am I ready to say goodbye to my neighbors that I'm close to? So there's something for you that you've been wondering, am I really ready? And the angels are already acknowledging that you have the magic within to do that. This full moon is going to be very powerful and very transformational. So you're going to want to be ready to tap into the magic within. So we're definitely going to get so much guidance, more guidance for you here as we go deeper. But that is such a wonderful card to show up right in the heart of our spread there. Christy says, yes, I'm feeling it. Pushing through, staying strong. Exactly. Yeah, stay strong, girl. We're all here for each other. Hello, Casglow. Happy Wednesday to you. Hello, Anna, Cecilia, and Frode. Great to see you here. Leisha, good morning. Hi, Mary. I'm glad you're joining from Ireland. Appreciate it. All right, let's see what we have in the kind of challenging energy for this full moon. You know, I don't really like to say it as a challenge. I like to see it as an opportunity to see something differently. Wow, we have the ego card. For those of you who are part of my community member here on my YouTube channel, we did our May monthly yesterday. Wasn't that powerful? We did it on past lives and we got the ego card, remember? And it was really reminding us to not allow ourselves to feel trapped in a situation. You know, it's really important that we're not getting focused on material things. One thing I do want to bring up about the ego card, though, is that we don't want to be hard on our ego. Our ego is necessary, right? It's what allows us to find autonomy. But what we want to learn to do is work with our ego, work with our heart, combine those things together so that we can listen to our intuition and then use our ego to take action on those things. So it sounds like a lot of us are feeling trapped right now in some sort of situation. Now, of course, this is always illusion. We create our own reality, but with the Magician card at the heart of our spread, and you're saying, well, am I ready? But I feel trapped in this relationship. I feel trapped in this job. I feel trapped in these financial circumstances, or I feel trapped with health things like that. These are things that the angels want us to be aware. We can take action. This is our mind telling us this. This is not the actual way it is. So let's go on to see what else is coming up in the subconscious here. Hey, AC, good to see you. Good morning. We have the Queen of Water card, tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. We were just talking about that. Care for yourself and others. So I love that this card is coming up because this full moon is in Scorpio, which is a water sign, and it is important that we are really trusting our intuition as we move through this energy. Other people are going to be acting out through this full moon energy too and not checking in with our intuition. So you're going to want to pause and ask your team for guidance about things. Is now a good time for me to make that phone call? Is now a good time for me to send that email or to go to the store? Listen to your intuition, especially around this full moon, because as we reach that apex, the energy is building. I love always saying this in my full moon videos. I'll never forget the way that my youngest was born on a full moon, and the nurses told me that they almost had to turn me away because they were about to run out of rooms, because on full moons, babies are really born a lot more often because it's that water energy, right? It's that pressure. And they said, we have women coming in off the ambulances and we're running out of space. And they said it's every full moon. And if you talk to teachers and police officers and firefighters, like this is a common thing. The collective is affected by this energy. So it's always important to listen to your intuition. But if you're feeling pressure in your shoulders and your body, stop and listen. It could be that your team is trying to tell you, hey, there's some energy around you. Just pay attention. You know, people, this is where you'll see road ragers, people cutting each other in line at the store and getting mad at each other. So, you know, especially with it being Scorpio too, which goes deep, and Scorpio knows how to make cuts, right? And they know how to get right at that spot that can be a little bit hard for people to take. They're right about the spot. They're saying, hey, right there, you need to change that. But sometimes it stings, right? So we want to be listening to our intuition with everything we are doing as we are moving through this full moon. Now, you're going to start feeling this energy right now, and then you're going to continue to feel it for a couple of weeks. But also, we are going to be seeing some changes with this full moon that will then manifest into something different when we get to the new moon in Scorpio in October. By the way, if you haven't checked it out, I did a fantastic live with Chris Reck from Minnow Pontero last week where we did this time next year so that it would be around the new moon in Taurus, full moon in Scorpio next year. And it goes into all the actions to take now, right now at the time you're hearing these messages, so that you can get to the place you want to be this time next year. We also did one last October. I have it linked under that video from last week where we did this time next year, which will be coming up this October. So it's also talking about this new moon in Scorpio in October that we're going to be seeing a full cycle. So I want you to be thinking big picture with this. And one of the big things we do get from our spiritual team is to think about your 5-year plan. Where do you see yourself, your family, yourself living, your working conditions in 5 years? Now we're going to start backing up from there till we get to the point of what do we need to be doing 3 years from now, 1 year from now, and now in order to take action on those things. So we're going to be really listening to our intuition with all this energy to see where do we need to make some cuts, release things, let things go so that we are headed to where we want to be in the fall when we hit the new moon this time next year. And of course, our 5-year plan, right? You can go as long as you want, but that's been the main message coming through to me is we need to think long term. And that means really, really asking your heart where you want to be 5 years from now and what are the things you could do right now to start making those changes. So let's jump into the recent energy here. Oh, hello, Janie. Good to see you here. Kim Priestess, great to see you. Virginia, your daughter was born on a full moon too. It's an interesting energy. She's a Pisces full moon. So good morning, Chris. Great to see you. Yes. Yes, feeling feisty. Exactly, right, Kim? Because we're going to feel this water energy coming up. 1111, Casclo. 1111, Kim Priestess. I love it. Thank you for pointing out that angel number here. Coming up in the recent past, we have the 6 of air. It says things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. All right, so there is something that I feel like many of us are... We've been waiting for that feeling of taking a deep breath. Just, okay, we're coming to the end of this. Now, some of you, this could be, maybe you're finishing up a course, getting ready to end a semester. Maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're a student. This could be something with a relationship where you're finally winding things down. You're finally get to the end of it. Or maybe you've just been going through a transformation in a relationship or needing to be there for someone else and it's been a bit challenging. But you're starting to realize I have to move away from certain dynamics in order to move myself out of this. And the angels with this card are commending you on leaving those things behind. So you've already begun to leave some things behind. That's the things we've been doing throughout this year with all the retrogrades, but also you are starting to see, all right, we're coming to the end of this. And a lot of this is coming to the end of that really challenging retrograde season we just wrapped up. And we had everything to erect for an out of shadow for just a couple of days. And all of a sudden we had Pluto retrograde, which is going to be beneficial to all of us. It's going to be a transformational energy from the inside. But let's see what's coming up in the present energy here. And let me know if you guys have any questions at all. That's what I love about doing these lives is that I can answer any questions that you have as we go. Yes, you have one. You were born on a full moon, Leo. Wow. Your kiddo was, Leisha? Amazing. You were born right after the full moon, AC. Nice. Yes. Oh, Mary says, I work in healthcare currently with older people, but have worked in a hospice, and we always notice an increase in the number of fails or unusual behavior among people who were quite unwell. Yeah, I know what you mean, Mary, and that is great feedback there, because it is something that is just bringing things to the surface, right? And things that maybe we didn't know were being addressed. Oh yeah, Gemini full moon, Virginia, great. Okay, so we have in the present energy, which is basically starting right now through the next couple of weeks, crossing over this actual apex of the full moon on May 12th, which is Ace of Earth. I love getting this energy for the present energy. It says the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents, or contracts. So what I'm getting for a lot of us is there's actually going to be an opportunity that is revealed to invest in something. Maybe you've been looking for the right house, and around this full moon, finally you realize, with the release, that there is a house right down the road that is perfect for you. Or you're realizing, hey, it's time to invest in something, and you're releasing any fears around starting that new business venture or investing in something. It could be investing in your own health, investing in your property. So there's something around that, and we'll definitely get more information, but I'll give you a little sneak peek since you're here with me now. I've already recorded the angel messages that I release on Mondays for this May 12th. And in the present energy, we also got this card, which just shows you can't make this stuff up, because we're going to be talking about the present energy on May 12th with those angel messages. I do it a little different format, but it's talked about investing in things. So you're just going to realize, I need to make this investment. I need to start right now so that 6 months from now, a year from now, I've really seen a change. All right, so let's see what's coming up in the near future here. In the near future, we have the 10 of Fire, which is also the 10 of Wands. In tarot, it says too much work, accept help from others, life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns. Now, of course, I always read these cards intuitively, not literally, but what I am seeing here is what's going to be revealed to you is you do have to put some things down in order to take advantage of this present energy of investing in something. So maybe you're overcommitted to a group of people, you're overcommitted to a project, and you're not taking enough time for your health or for your relationships. Maybe you have too many irons in the fire, and it's time to put some on the back burner so that you can really focus on buckling down and getting a project going. And that is really important to remember. Sometimes we feel this energy and we feel like we have to have so many things happening, or we feel like we have to do it all ourselves. So when it talks about too much going on at once, it might be time to outsource something. You know, if you've been trying to manage your own social media and it's just draining you, have you been, part of a community group or some kind of regular event that's weekly or monthly and is taking too much of your time? There's something that needs to be put down with this full moon. It does not mean you can't pick it up again. And we want to look for signs around that. Sometimes it's like, well, I don't want to put it down because it's something my heart wants, but maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe you put it down and you pick it back up again in 6 months with the new moon. So let's see what you have coming up for your personal power, because this is where we're going to get our pocket affirmations, and it's going to really help us move forward with this energy. We have the 5 of Water. Okay, it says things not turning out the way you hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk. And, you might be thinking to yourself, how is that a positive personal power? Well, the power comes from not crying over the spilled milk. This is what you're going to say. You're going to say, that happened, right? Who is that? Let me know in the comments if you know who said that. That happened. There's a spiritual teacher out there that would say that a lot, and I'd love to hear if you know who that is. No cheating and Googling, by the way. But 5 of Water is your personal power here. You are not worried about the things that have happened in the past. You are focused on what you have now. In fact, in this card here, you can see there are still 2 cups that are full of milk or water, whatever you want to. I would say water since it's a water card, but this is the idea of, well, at least 2 of them didn't fall over, right? At least I still have 2 of something, right? So we're having gratitude for what we do have, and then we're getting creative about how do we take this and make this our power. So let's say let's just do an easy one. Pocket affirmation number 1, write it in the comments below. I am grateful. I am grateful. If you want to write that in the comment section before, because we're grateful we still have these 2 cups here. But then we're going to do one of my other favorite ones is I find creative solutions. So, or if you want to add easily, I usually say easily. So let's do the second pocket affirmation for your personal power is I easily find creative solutions. We're going to get really creative, right? We had those 5 cups. We were so excited to use all 5 cups, but maybe so much was going on, we accidentally spilled a few of them. Hey, at least we still have 2 cups. So we're going to get really creative on how we use the resources we have. Since this is a water card, I do feel like it's also really referring to the emotions we have around something. So there are some projects that your heart is not in. There are some relationships that your heart is not in anymore. You're just like, gosh, I thought this was going to be the greatest friendship or the greatest partnership. And I'm not feeling it anymore, right? So where are the things that you can do that you can find a creative solution to that? It doesn't mean you have to totally let that relationship go, but maybe there's a new approach to that relationship. Maybe there's a heart-to-heart there that can change things for you. So we're going to get to the external factors here. Thank you all for writing that in the comment section. I appreciate it. In the external factors section, we have the Ace of Water card. Interesting, with it being a full moon. It's in Scorpio, which is water, falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, a new home. All right, I love this for the external factors because I was just talking about something that our heart is not really in anymore. We want to find ways to fall in love with it again, or we want to release it, right? So it could be that there is a relationship that needs more nurturing. It could mean there's a project that needs more nurturing. Maybe you haven't been putting the emotion behind it that is necessary to really move it forward. Maybe you need to change the way you're approaching something, and that's going to have a renewed sense of love for it. But I am getting that for some of you, you are going to be releasing relationships, projects, or something you're going to be letting go of because you have grown so much spiritually, you have grown so much emotionally, and you're on this new path with your journey. And so your external environment, the people around you, it just doesn't energetically match anymore. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just doesn't match. So this is a situation where maybe you always went out with a group of friends once a month or once a week, and you've been doing all this inner work and this transformation and things that your heart wants, you're focused on, and they're stuck in an old rut of gossiping or, just being negative, and you're going, I love you, but this is just a drag on me. I don't feel at home in this environment anymore. Especially since this is a new home. It could be that some of you are realizing I really do need a new home. It may mean you don't feel at home in a current group, like a church or a community. It may be that you don't feel at home in your own skin when you are doing certain projects for work because you've grown out of that particular project. So again, if there's projects you're having to let it go, we don't want to cry over that. I think most of you probably know that I got my degree in accounting and business administration, and they really harped on the concept of sunk costs. This means letting go of the things that are continuing to drain your resources, which can also be draining your emotional resources. If you're saying, hey, I've invested all this time in this friendship, I've invested all this time in this business or this project, but it's just my heart's not in it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. Just let it go. Don't cry over that sunk cost. Cut that loss so that you aren't getting these stress-related health concerns, okay? So I actually am getting, for a lot of you, this is something that it was like a project or a goal you had for yourself that you're realizing it doesn't resonate with me anymore. And I've already invested this time. I've already taken this class. I've already done these things. But, oh well, I learned from it, right? That happened. And now it's time to let those things go. So you're going to see what those are as we move deeper into the all signs, which we will get to soon. Of course, we'll have your bonus messages. And as always, I will put timestamps in when we hop off. So we have the Page of Earth card for the hopes or fears. I like to talk about this as the 2 sides of the same coin card, right? Because it depends on how you look at it. Glass half empty, glass half full. It says Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, successful, good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, and a new area of study. All right, so this is exactly what I was just talking about. You know, I spent a lot of time and energy getting my accounting and business administration degree. Right around the time of graduation, I realized my heart was not in the career path I was headed. I had been given a job opportunity that would have been lucrative. It would have been a really great opportunity to get advanced right out of college. But my heart was not in that path anymore. And all at the same time, speaking of the Five of Water card, I lost my my horse Honey that I'd had growing up for many, many years. And it made me realize, what are the things that are important to me? And it's like, why did I put all this time and energy into getting my accounting degree if it's not what my heart wants? Well, I do not regret it at all. I don't cry over spilled milk, because it ended up helping me launch my own small business consulting service a couple years later, which taught me all the things I needed to know, gave me the opportunity to work with entrepreneurs and really follow my intuition with that to the point where I was able to eventually move completely out of accounting and do the work I do with all of you now. So it was very much worth the investment. So if there's something you've invested in with knowledge or a degree that's no longer resonating with you, you can do something new with it, right? I'm definitely still using my accounting and business administration skills with my spiritual work. I'm just doing it differently, right? So there's this opportunity coming up for you to do something new. That's why I'm getting, for the present energy, this Ace of Earth. You need to go ahead and initiate that. Now, I will say a lot of times with a full moon, you tend to want to wait until the new moon to initiate, but you're going to see these opportunities come through. Is like, if I don't take this opportunity now to at least start the process one little baby step at a time, then I'm really going to be missing out. And when we get to this opportunity in October, where we come to the 6-month full cycle, we have the new moon in Scorpio, you're going to want to see that, hey, I am so grateful I took that action. So let's see what's coming up in the outcome. And before we get to all 12 signs, hello, Heidi. Great to see you there. We have 6 of Earth. Gifts of money, time, effort, new career opportunities, what were we just saying? Receiving a loan or paying off debts. So ultimately, if you initiate something with this full moon, and usually it's probably you're going to be initiating letting something go, right? I think you're going to be taking some things off your plate. You're going to be ending some commitments. You're going to be moving away from some relationships. That is actually initiating something by ending it. And then you're going to be moving in a different direction with your current skills and knowledge. You may even be moving in to a different line of work, but still the foundation of your skills is going to support you. Like, a very good example for me is how I moved from angel communication into numerology and eventually astrology. And this was all because of my love for numbers, right? I really loved angel numbers. I saw them all the time. That was one of the reasons why I actually went into accounting, because I did like working with numbers and I did see a lot of patterns with numbers. So I eventually went in a different direction by following my new interests, and I got really, really into numerology. I started studying all my family's charts. And eventually that led me into astrology, which just really opened up the things that I was wanting to focus on in my new areas of study. And of course, those of you out there who are astrologers, you know it's a lifetime study to be astrologer. There's always something new to learn and study. But it really was fascinating to see the way I just went in a different direction with my love of numbers. So whatever this is for you, it says paying off debts. I feel like you're going to be moving away from something with this full moon, and that's going to be the initiation process that allows you to get to where you want to go by the time we're at the new moon, and then, of course, this time next year. So now we're going to move over to the all 12 signs. I will be putting the icons up there. Let me know how you guys are doing. What's been going on for all of you since we had that new moon reading? Did you have a good new moon in Taurus? And also, you know, how's the energy been treating you lately? Because I know it's really great when we can compare notes and just see that we're all feeling things collectively. What are you picking up collectively? Oh, don't worry about being late. She said, Janie's asking any more clarity on that ego card. I resonate with that so strongly and would love any guidance on how to unstick. You know what I love about, that's a great question, Janie. And one way to think of the ego is you want to actually like picture picture your ego as something. It could be you, but you're looking at it from a third party perspective. And you want to send love to the ego. And then you want to picture yourself stepping outside of your ego and looking back at it and sending it that love. So you're really actually showing yourself like my ego is a part of me, but I want to step out of it and look at it as a different perspective. So one of the ways, Janie, is to remember your ego is here to protect you. Even if it feels like it's the very thing that's making you feel trapped, your ego is meant to protect you. So you could even do some automatic journaling, some writing, and ask your ego, why do you feel trapped? Where do you feel trapped? What are the things I can do for you to help you feel safe and help you feel free? So I would do a little inner work on that, Janie, for this full moon. That's such a great question, especially since we have Pluto retrograde right now, where it's going to be about internal transformation. That could be something you could do. And one of the things we do want to do is actually definitely focus on some affirmations, some visualizations, and some things that we really want to bring into our energy to start creating new neural pathways for positive thinking, for optimistic thinking, and for recognizing when our ego is getting in the way. A lot of times our ego gets in the way because we're letting our mind take over and run that thought process like a hamster wheel in our brain. And we want to step off that hamster wheel and say, no, we're in control here. So I love that question. All right, let's move over to the all 12 signs here. AC says, feeling really good about the current energy despite world affairs being volatile. I feel a lot of good change coming. I agree with you. I feel some very good change coming. And the angels are always reminding us that all of this is happening for us so that we can find unity together. You are all here with me because you are light workers, even if you don't call yourself that. And by us all coming together, we're helping raise the vibration of the planet and initiate unity so we can all recognize how we are all one. So I love that. All right, let's get started with the Aries for this full moon. I'm writing your timestamp here for you. We are going to do the traditional categories that I feel are really helpful for these types of lunar transits, where we go over health and fitness. We go over career and finance. If you're retired, that's legacy or the next phase that you're investing in. And then, of course, our relationships, which can be romantic, children, parents, boss, colleagues, any relationship, right? So loving that there. All right, let's get started here. Oh, I forgot to light my candle again. I just did that recently on a recording, but it's okay. We've got time right now. We're going to do it right now. All right. So for Aries, what do we have for health and fitness? And of course, we're going to pull all of this together, right? I'm going to move this so I have a little more light in front of it. Yay. For Aries, for health and fitness, we have the children card. And it says, Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me to help children. Okay, so again, a reminder, I don't read literally, I read intuitively. And what I am being shown for Aries is during this full moon, for Aries, during this full moon, I want you to get out and play. I want you to plan something playful. Tap into that inner child. What were the things that you loved doing as a kid? The angels are saying right now to benefit your health. Now, again, not a doctor. This is not medical advice. But I am getting that for any area of your life where you want better health, add that playtime. Do the things that you used to love to do as a kid. So hopefully you can start making plans right now, or even if you're hearing this during the full moon or right after the full moon, what are some things you could do to start adding more playtime into your daily routine? Maybe you can even plan a little getaway or an event with a group of friends this weekend so you can do something fun together. Let's see what's coming up for your career and finance for Aries. We have the spring card. It says, your desires fully manifest in when the flowers begin to bloom. Well, of course, Aries, you're born with the spring equinox just happening in your sun sign. And, this is talking about things blossoming for you. And they're wanting you to remember, just like we were talking about the reading I did with Chris Reck last week about this time next year, what are the things that you want to see happening in the spring next year for your career and finance or your legacy? Because there is something that you can let go of right now that's going to give you the resources and the opportunities for that. So maybe it is you are selling some type of investment so that you can use that money to start moving towards something new that you want. And then let's see what we have coming up for relationships for Aries. For relationships, we have forgiving and learning. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. So yeah, I feel like a lot of this forgiving and learning card is going to come from this playtime. Getting out there and doing things that your heart loves to do is going to allow you to release the things that still need to be forgiven. Forgiving yourself, forgiving someone else, but also learning from the situation. Like, how did I end up in this relationship? How did I end up vulnerable or hurt? How did I hurt that person? What are the things that I could change with this full moon and let go of? And maybe you are just letting go of an old issue with somebody, and that's allowing you to learn and grow. And that could be a big thing for Aries with this full moon, is really understanding where they're feeling, where in a relationship they need to learn from something, especially a past relationship or a relationship that you're currently releasing. So I love that there for the Aries. Let's move on to the Tauruses here. Virginia says, I've been experiencing conflict and chaos in my personal and work life, quite chaotic. As a Libra, trying to balance, be logical and sympathetic, exhausted. I'm sorry you're going through that, Virginia. And I know that's been happening for a lot of Libras. You're bringing such powerful energy in right now. So we'll definitely get you more guidance there. But yeah, it's been chaotic energy for a lot of people. So you're definitely not alone there. And we've got to make sure we're really nurturing ourselves with this energy, especially around these full moons where everybody around us is feeling this and they're not necessarily nurturing themselves, right? So for the Tauruses, let me grab your timestamp. What do we have for the Tauruses for this full moon? For this full moon, we have the increased energy for your health and fitness. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for filling me with the unlimited energy of divine love and light. Okay, so you're going to want to be focusing on things that increase your energy, Tauruses. So that means letting go of the things that drain your energy, right? We all got that Wands card for the coming up in the near future where you may have too much on your calendar, too much on your plate at work, too many commitments with relationships, and it's going to be important for you to do the things that increase your energy and release the things that don't. In fact, shout out to my friend April. I don't think she's here in the chat today, but she got me all interested in doing, and she's a Taurus, she got me all interested in trying the rebounders. So I want to tell you, I did get my rebounder in April. I've only used it for 2 days, but it is so much fun. So speaking of the the Aries thing about playtime, that's my fourth house, which is Aries is my fourth house, which is home. And it's like, how can I have more fun at home? Especially with my exercise, and it's definitely, doing something different. So for Tauruses, definitely think about things that you can do to increase your energy around this full moon and put down the things that are draining your energy. Okay. And of course, in the 2025 angel messages and many messages since, I keep getting for Tauruses, release toxins. There are things in your body, there are things in your environment that are draining you as well. So we want to be surrounding ourselves and consuming life-affirming things, okay? Moving on to the career and finance for Tauruses, we have perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. Okay, what have you been holding off taking action on? We do have that Ace of Earth card for everybody from the Celtic Cross. There is some step you need to take, and it may be moving forward with leaving a job, leaving a neighborhood, leaving a group of people. It may be going ahead and putting that first down payment on something that's going to bring better health into your career and finances. It may also mean that you're having to invest in your health, right? You're having to do something to bring better health in. And that could be, seeking a new healthcare provider. That could be investing in healthier foods or beverages, those kinds of things. Again, not a doctor or nutritionist, but there is something related here with this career and finance to this health here and increasing energy. So what do we have for the card for relationships? We have let your friends help you, ask for and accept help from others. All right, so this is great for Tauruses because you're steadfast, you know what you're doing, you want to push through, but it's okay to ask for help from others. And if this is a romantic relationship, that might mean getting a third party, maybe getting a counselor, getting some advice, some professional advice. This could be also you're struggling in your own romantic life and you need somebody to help you at work so you have time for your romance in your life. It could be a friendship or a roommate or somebody in your life that is really draining you because we have this increased energy and you need help getting away from that situation. So it does sound like for some Tauruses, you're going to be letting go of relationships so that you can focus on the things you want. I'm getting for most Tauruses, you're actually going to be letting go of work commitments so that you have more time for romance in your life. So if for anybody that resonates with, definitely let me know and make sure you are writing all of this down in your journal so that you can use that gift of hindsight to deepen your connection with the angels. All right, we're going to move on to the Geminis here. How's everybody doing? Oh, I'm so grateful, Janie. I'm glad that was helpful. Yes, that's resonating. Yes, AC, I know, right? I'm a Taurus moon too. All right, Geminis. We have, let's see, I'm getting your timestamp. What do we have for Geminis for this full moon? First, I'll move the Taurus cards. We have... For Geminis, we have home help in the area of health and fitness. So with this card in this area, it might be that you, maybe you have a loved one that needs help and you're trying to do it all your own and it's time to call in help. Maybe you have a family member that is a Gemini and they're not wanting extra help with something, but there is something that you need to get more help at home to benefit your health and fitness. For some of you, this is actually getting somebody to like help clean your home for you. Like maybe you're so busy with work and you have allergies and you need someone who's regularly keeping the dust and the pet hair down, right? You know what this is for you, but there is something where you could use more help with your home. Now, another meaning that is coming through for some of you Geminis is like they talk about in spirituality, your body is your temple, right? So the home of your body where your spirit dwells, there could be some things that you need to do to help your physical body to help your spiritual connection. Maybe your higher self is trying to get through to you. Hey, there's some things we could do to help us our physical body feel better. So what's the first thing that pops into mind for you on that? Because it could be that you just need to seek out some support with that. Maybe a fitness instructor, maybe a nutritionist, something like that. But there is something that you could do to get some external help and not try to do all of this on your own. Now, what do we have coming up in the near future? I mean, sorry, not the near future. We're going to do that. The bonus messages at the end here. For Geminis, we have career and finance. We have the daughter card. It says the answer to your question involves your daughter. That's, I know, sounds so like, wait, I don't have a daughter, or why my daughter's grown up. She has nothing to do with my career. You may be thinking all those things because you do think a lot, right, Geminis? But I don't read this intuitively. This is more about that young feminine energy. And there could be something in your career or finance or even your legacy that you need to bring that youthful, divine feminine energy to help you move forward with it. Now, for some of you, this literally could be a daughter or granddaughter who can give you an idea, right? They say out of the mouths of babes, right? Kids will say things that are like, wow, that's so true, or wow, I didn't see it that way. So there could be a young female or someone else's daughter that has some guidance for you or has a perspective. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when I had my first daughter, and she's serious. She was a serious baby, and she's a Capricorn. And my dad would pull all these antics to try to get her to smile and laugh at him. And she just wasn't having it. She didn't think his antics were funny. And she's just a little baby, like 6 months old, and he would, jump around and dance for her and do all these different things. And she might kind of give him a look, but anyway, she was very serious. So he went to his good friend's daughters who are aged 12 and 10. And he goes, listen, I can't get my granddaughter to smile at me. Do you have any advice for me? And they said, yeah, buy her a teddy bear that's bigger than her. Well, he went straight to the toy store, bought a teddy bear about this big. She was only, she could sit up, so maybe 10 months old, but it was about this big. And he gives it to her, and she was glowing, and she loved that teddy bear, and it was such a treat. And, it's not, the moral of the story is not go buy things to win people over, but also the moral of the story is go ask someone else's daughter when you're feeling stuck with something, because he finally got all that investment that he was making in trying to get my daughter, his granddaughter, to laugh was well worth it when he got the advice there. So let's move on to your relationships, Gemini. We have express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. All right, you've been holding back on communicating something to a loved one. Maybe you do need to ask that person out you've got a crush on, or maybe you need to tell a current romantic partner, hey, let's go do something romantic together. I love you. I miss you. Let's work on this. It could be for some of you, I'm getting that you're wanting to start a collaboration, or you're wanting to show your love for something to the world. So I feel like if you just really focus on expressing it, Gemini, because you are good communicators and you are charismatic, just make sure you're expressing it. Make sure the other person knows you love them, or make sure the people that you want to work with in these relationships know how much you love the work you're doing, or you love a particular, activity. So definitely express your love, Geminis, and that's going to really help you with understanding where you need to move and release things. Alrighty, moving on. Oh, good, Margie. I'm glad you got the clarification. I hope you're starting to feel better. Isn't it nice to have information like that so you kind of know where to move next? Okay, sending you love. You've been cleaning and reorganizing too, AC, big time here. AC, you're the daughter. Interesting. I like it. I like how you're figuring that out. Oh, thanks, Casglow. Yeah, it still makes me smile. She's 16 now, but yeah, she's actually a very bubbly person, but for whatever reason, she would just get very serious. And my dad's a goofball. He's a Cancer like me, and he would, do all these antics to get her to laugh, and she's just staring at him. All right. We're moving on to the Cancers here. Speaking of Cancers, my sun sign, my dad's sun sign, and several of you out there. Okay, for Cancers, what do we have for this full moon? In your health and fitness, we have yes. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me trust my feelings as the accurate barometer of truth. Well, isn't this perfect for Cancers, because we are intuitive. We do tend to listen to our feelings. We tend to be seen as emotional by others, but there is something that in your emotional state, the way you feel is affecting your health, or could benefit your health, right? Where you're really focusing on feeling a certain way, understanding an emotion and saying, all right, I want to change this feeling. I want to feel joyful. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel energized. And you're getting the big old yes that will affect your health and fitness. All right. So let's see what's coming up with your career and finance. And we have love life. The basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. Well, this is interesting, Cancer. So basically, you have something in your love life or something that you love in your life that is improving your career and finance. So I love that. I would say, think about, what do you love doing? I know for me, I love getting on here with you guys. This is what helps me jump out of bed in the morning, and I'm so excited to do these lives with all of you. So that is a love of life that I truly enjoy. Did I jump out of bed this way for my small business consulting practice? Sometimes, if I was excited about the work with a client. Did I do it back when I was interning at the accounting firm? No. So that was not love of life. So it's following those emotions there. And let's see what's going on with the other relationship card here. So for your relationships, Cancers, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Oh, good. I'm glad, Kim. Yes, I know you're a Cancer too. So this is letting us know that it's that balance. This goes for all 12 signs. We need to have balance in all those areas of our life. So maybe you've been so focused on career, it's been affecting your love life, or you've been so focused on your love life that it's been affecting your career. And we want to bring balance into all those things. And I love that it's saying it's safe for you to love. and just be open and vulnerable. Because I know us Cancers, we tend to, if we get hurt or wounded, we retreat, we close off, we go into our home, right? Because Cancer rules the 4th house, and we're like, shut the doors, leave me alone. And but we need to feel safe to love. We need to feel like it's okay to get out there, right? That's going to be real important for all 12 signs. And so there may be something with your full moon, with this full moon, that you're initiating, and initiating the ending of something, initiating a change of your approach. And that's going to benefit all of us really in those 3 areas of your life. So let's switch over to the Leos, the lovely Leos. Virginia's a Cancer rising here. Lovely. All right, Leos, let's see. I want to make sure I have your timestamp. What do we have for Leos for this full moon? We have stretch. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for staying by my side and motivating me to take excellent care of myself. You know, it's funny. I feel like, so I'm surrounded by Tauruses, but I'm also surrounded by a lot of Taurus Leo risings. And I feel like, yeah, there's something for Leos and Leo risings that it's like you need to stretch yourself to try new things, especially regarding your health and fitness. And you know what I'm also getting for some Leos is stretch your awareness of your spiritual connection too. It may be that you need to take your spiritual connection or your spiritual routine to a new level and really stretch yourself. But I'm getting that it's like, you know, it's like pushing yourself. It's like you hear about the runners that first they tell themselves, I'm going to run for 10 minutes a day. Then they get better and better and they're running for longer. And they say, fine, I'm going to run that up that hill. Then they move on and they sign up for a 5K. It's like you're always stretching yourself. And that's what they're asking you to do. For some of you, this is literally stretching. It could be that, again, I'm not a doctor, not a fitness instructor, nothing, but it could be that some new thing you're doing for your health and fitness just needs a little more stretching. You know, it always feels so good to have those first morning stretches. And then if you can do a little stretching before bed, that always really helps me. So think about that. Maybe that's something for you. Listen to your own intuition. And then what do we have here? Oh, that's right, Casco, you're a Cancer rising too. I knew that. For Leos, for career and fitness, we have spiritual teacher. What was I just saying about stretching your spiritual communication? We have your life purpose involves teaching others and healing and spirituality. So I love that, Leos, because you love so many in your life and you have so much love to give. It might be time to really go to the next level with using your spiritual gifts to teach others. Again, this doesn't mean you're actually hanging a shingle as a spiritual teacher, but you are using your spiritual gifts to teach others. So I always think of the example of all my teachers out there who are light workers, but they don't have light worker on their classroom door, right? They have Mrs. Smith or whatever, you know, but they are sharing their light with their students. They are using their intuition and their spiritual gifts to help those children learn and grow. And this is something that you can do in a big way, Leos. So is there something you can shift and change with this full moon in your career and finance so you can really use your spiritual gifts in a new way? What else do we have for relationships for Leos? We have codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. All right, this doesn't have to be a negative thing. I don't want it to come out literally, but this could be something as simple as every night after work and the kids are fed, I sit down and I binge watch my favorite Netflix, or I'm trying to think of something else that it's like just something that you really always want to do. And in order to have that new romantic partner in your life, or in order to take your current romance to the next level, you're going to need to let go of that routine and not be so dependent on it. Now, for some of you, this could actually be that you're relying on the other person a little too much to show their love, and there needs to be a little bit more of a give and take in there. If this is not a romantic relationship you're talking about, it does seem like there's a little bit of lack of self-worth there for Leos, so maybe you're not really believing in yourself the way others believe in you, and so you're relying on others to validate you. And I do see that with a lot of Leos. I'm not trying to call you out, but I do see a lot of Leos need outside validation before they really begin to give themselves credit. But it needs to start from within. You need to start giving yourself credit on the inside, and that's going to really help with your relationships, Leos. So I love that. You've been collecting cancers. I love that, AC. Yeah. I know, it's funny. I'm surrounded by Virgos and Tauruses. So much Virgo and Taurus energy in my life. But I love it. Works well. All right. So next up, that was oh, did I not put the Leos up? I'm sorry, Leos. I didn't. I did not put up the Leo. There, that was your Leo there, but now we're moving on to Virgos. Oh, well, that's what you get for doing it live, right? All right, so Virgos, what do we have for your full moon in Scorpio? We have for health and fitness, laughter is the best medicine. This is so true for all 12 signs. Plan to watch some funny comedians, some funny movies around this energy, and really allow yourself to call in better health by finding humor in situations. So I really love that for Virgos. I know you're always so great about research and, learning things, but maybe it's time to find a funny book, maybe it's time to do something where you can have a lot more laughter in your life. And then for career and finance for Virgos, I have do some research, which you guys always do research. It says you need more information about the situation. Look into it further before proceeding. And since this is talking about your career and finance, Virgos, I feel like there's something that you're ready to start, but it's like, you need to figure out how to get out of something before you start something new, because that's what's happening with this full moon. So there's something you need to release. You need to end a contract, end a commitment. You need to find a better way to move out of something. And then that's going to get you this new opportunity. In fact, I just heard for some Virgo out there that you need to do more research about moving. Like there's something you need to do to move that's going to benefit your career and finance. But first you need to do the research around it. Like maybe you need to go on YouTube and watch videos about that area and like study the geographical area. So interesting message coming in there specifically for Virgos. And then for relationships, we have, remember, I don't read reversals, heart-to-heart conversations, of course, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Yeah, so there's something in your relationships where you need to have that heart-to-heart, Virgos. And I know that you notice the details, you notice the nuances, you notice the fluctuations in someone's voice or the way they say things, and it can hurt your feelings. It can be hard to let go. So I would just say, Virgo, remember that others don't always see things quite to the detail that you do. So you might have heard the way they said it in a way that they didn't really mean it, or you're hung up on some detail of the way it was said and it just needs clarification. So if you could have a heart-to-heart conversation with whoever this relationship is in and say, hey, that upset me, or I didn't like the way that felt, that's going to really help you. And of course, with it being a full moon, it's about releasing and revealing. So we're going to want to be revealing how we really feel in a loving and compassionate way. But this goes for all 12 signs, It's important that we are having those heart-to-heart conversations and revealing how we really feel. All right, moving on to the Libras. Sorry, grabbing my timestamp here. What do we have for the Libras for this full moon? We have for health and fitness, use your natural healing abilities. I love that. I feel like we've gotten that card for you recently in the last couple of months when we've done the all 12 signs Libras, but you have natural born healing abilities, and others see that in you too because you are able to see both sides. So it could be that you're actually helping heal others with this full moon by sharing a different perspective or inviting them to see where something is out of balance. A lot of times we have to wait for the other person to ask for our perspective on something in order for them to be open to it. But then you can really step into your power. And one of your natural healing powers, Libras, is that ability to find the beauty in things and to also find where something is not necessarily working. It's out of balance. So you're able to heal that by saying, hey, we need to put this energy over here. We need to stop doing that. So that's going to be something beneficial to health and fitness for Libras. And for career and finance, we have affirmations. like we were just talking about with the ego, to lift up your thoughts and energy and to attract what you desire, use positive affirmations. So I use affirmations every day. As you all know, I use pocket affirmations. And with this really crunchy energy we've had lately, I not only do my normal journal entries, so I'll go to the most recent blank page, right? And I always do the date. I know I've heard you say every morning, you've heard me say every morning I do the date and I say, thank you, God, for today. I abbreviate it as TGT. I do morning angels and guides. I abbreviate as MAG. And then I've started adding different affirmations as I felt were necessary. So I think today I was like, today is a joyful, beautiful, productive, healthy, safe, and I don't know, a wonderful day. You know, I just put this huge affirmation, and I'm using that present tense is, right? So we want to make sure we're using present tense, but use affirmations to help with anything going on in your career and finance. So like we had, I think, who was it earlier saying, I'm sorry, Virginia, or one of you was saying you're a Libra, and that, you know, you're dealing with stress around colleagues. You know, that's where you want to do affirmations about, like, you know, I am strong, I am in divine flow, I am productive, I am seen at work, you know, I am recognized for my hard work, I easily find creative solutions, those kinds of things. I protect my energy. You may need to be needing to cut cords and shield your energy more. So something around that is going to really help you with your career and finance. And then we have the romance card, or the relationship card. We have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying the moment fully. Yeah, so this person is stopping to smell the roses and really embracing the fragrance and not hurrying past the rose, but pausing and embracing the moment. And that's something that can benefit all of us. So I definitely feel like, especially in romantic relationships, but even if you're not in a romantic relationship, doing things that make you feel romantic, feel the romance of life, is going to really benefit the Libras. All right. Moving on to the Scorpios. This is your full moon here. Your powerful full moon. All right, Scorpios, what do we have for this full moon for you? Your full moon. Powerful, powerful transformation. We have for health and fitness, the Easy Does It card. Yes, Scorpios, I completely agree that, you know, Scorpios, when you commit to something or someone, you commit, right? And that's the thing that you're being asked to do, is maybe just take it easy. There could be something that you're overdoing that's draining your energy. And with this full moon and it being your full moon in your sign, I feel like maybe you should take a look at some of the things you have coming up on your calendar and see if you've got too much planned. Are you, you know, like AC was saying, I'm doing all this cleaning and reorganizing. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing to do, especially when we're releasing with a full moon. But maybe just go a little slower. Maybe don't put too much on your schedule, and take time to, you know, do it in a way that doesn't affect your health, you know, where we're not getting run down. And then for career and finance for Scorpios, we have the holiday card. Well, we just got the Easy Does It card. So there you go. You can't make this stuff up. It says the answers you're looking for can be found during a vacation, retreat, or holiday getaway. We just got the card that your health will benefit from going easy. And what is the thing you need to do for this holiday? You need to take it easy. So can you take a couple of days? Can you take a couple of days off for this full moon? Can you plan a little getaway? There's something that will benefit your career and finance by taking a break. And this really is true. It's like, wait a minute, if I take off of work to go on vacation, how does that benefit my work? Well, you may not realize how in the energy you were and you needed that other perspective. You may not have realized how run down you were getting with something you were working on. So you just need that break. And I have had some of the most inspirational ideas or creative solutions come to me when I'm on a vacation, because you're out of that environment. You have this opportunity to look at things differently. So let's see what's coming up for relationships for your full moon, Scorpios. We have free yourself. Well, this is, it's time to take back control of your life, Scorpios. I'm telling you, this is just overall, it's like, take a break, Scorpios. This is your full moon. There's something you've got to let go of. There's something you've got to take a break, take a breather, get out of whatever it is that's making you feel trapped, right? It says free yourself. And this could just be time away from a partner. Maybe you need to go on a solo trip. Maybe this is time away from business colleagues. It's just too much energy with them. So that's why you're taking the holiday. But there is something that it's time to take a break and get away. So, I hope that you will give yourself the compassion you deserve, full moons, especially Scorpios. I can't believe the compassion you deserve, full moons. There we go. We all need to give ourselves compassion, but Scorpios, this is so intense happening for you. Please be compassionate with yourself and allow yourself to free yourself from these vows, these bonds, these commitments, these things that you're like, no, I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. It's not that we're not honoring our commitments. We're just being a little bit more compassionate about the way we do it, right? So small steps, and go ahead and take the first step to release the things that are really draining your time and energy. Okay, Scorpios? All right, let's see what else is coming up here. AC says, I'm nodding my head so hard as a Scorpio. Thank you for the validation. Well, I hope you get a chance to take a break then, AC, or take a little getaway. It's not always easy to do, but the first time I ever took a trip by myself, I was like, why do people not do this more often? It's not that I love taking trips with my spouse and my family member, but there's something so unique about doing solo trips, and definitely something that, everybody should consider doing at least once. All right, here we go for the Sagittarius. Sagittarius, what are we getting for this full moon for you? We have call upon Archangel Raphael. There we go. That makes it pretty simple. There's something going on with your health and fitness. Call in Archangel Raphael for your help. Also, Archangel Raphael can help you with relationships and taking them to a new level or healing them. And Raphael can help you with releasing them in a compassionate and loving way. What do we have for your career and finance, Sagittarius? We have Sun. Your Sun is watched over and protected as he explores the world. So what comes up for you with this, Sagittarius? Is there something around your Sun where you've had fear around your financial resources, but your Sun is, making his way through the world, and it's like, okay, he's got this? Or it could be, again, like we have with the daughter card for, what sign was it that we had the daughter card? I don't remember now. But it could be someone else's Sun is helping you get a career opportunity or get a new perspective on something that you're doing, Sagittarius. It could be your own Sun is reflecting back to you where you need to make changes in your career and finance, because that's one of the things we forget, is that our kids are always watching us, even if they're adults, and they may have a different perspective that could really open our eyes to the possibilities when it comes to our career, finance, or legacy. It could also be that maybe you are retired and your Sun is going to help you with this next phase of your life. Maybe you're starting a new project, or you're planning a trip, or you're going to be able to be there for your grandkids in a bigger way, and your Sun is helping you figure that out. So that's really powerful for the Sagittarius for career and finance. And what do we have here for the relationships? We have chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here, Sagittarius. So definitely feel that vibe. I know you guys are good about that, Sagittarius. You often bring the vibe to the party or the situation or the relationship, but focus on where you have the chemistry and keep going. And this could be chemistry with a work project, chemistry with a colleague where you know that you guys have the same goals and the same motives. So look for the chemistry. It's like they say when people have chemistry on camera, right? It doesn't necessarily mean they have any romantic feelings for each other. They just have that chemistry. So you want to be heading towards the chemistry in your relationships. And really, that kind of goes for all of us, doesn't it? All right. That's great for that. Kitty Cat Black, I love your username. Yes, definitely play. I love it. Taking back control of your life is what resonated. I feel that, AC. Yeah, it's really funny how that's the thing, especially when we're getting the free yourself card. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, how do I free myself from this? I got to take back control, right? All right, so this is Capricorns now that we're on. I'm going to remember to actually change it this time because we missed the Leos. All right, what do we have for the Capricorns for this full moon? We have avoid allergens. Interesting. Okay, this is really interesting. So, especially as a Cap rising, and I have my daughter who is a Cap sun, there are things fluttering around in the air at this time of year that can be annoying, agitating. But because I don't read these cards literally, this also could mean things in the communication, the particles in communication. Like maybe you've been letting a YouTube channel go play in the background for too long and it's starting to agitate you, or the energy in the household is agitating you, so you need to get outside. Maybe your work environment, there's too many things floating around the air with gossip and people in bad moods, and you need to, see if you can work from home a little bit, or just take a little bit of a longer lunch break, or do something to move yourself out of that. Because basically what this card is saying is allergens are things that are irritants, right? They agitate our body, they agitate our energy. So if there's anything that's agitating you, that's what we want to remove. And we want to focus on surrounding ourselves that uplift us, such as listening to positive music, getting outdoors, doing things that you enjoy. And then for your career and finance, we have birthday. A significant birthday holds the answers to your questions. So there is something for Capricorns that think of what's the first birthday that comes to mind? Was it your most recent birthday? Was it a birthday coming up for you that's a significant birthday? There's something around that is actually going to help you with your career and finance. I'm getting for a lot of Capricorns, it's a recent birthday or a birthday from the past where you had an aha moment. And that aha moment is something you can apply to your career and finance. Does that make sense? So maybe it was a recent significant birthday, but there is one particular message coming in for Capricorns that also an upcoming birthday, some type of celebration or trip you're planning for it will cause you to meet people that will also help your career and finance. So that was a really detailed message there. So I hope you know who you are, Capricorns, but that was very strong coming through. And then we have the relationship sector. We have passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy, right? I am joyful, pursuing joy daily. We do want to do things that help us feel joyful. That goes for all of us. And as I was joking earlier about how serious my older daughter can be, especially regarding certain situations, she's serious because she's focused and she's, intellectual, and she's doing it the way it's meant to be done. But one of the big things that comes with this new innovation after Pluto left your sign, Capricorns, is we are innovating the way we do things, where we're bringing joy into everything. We're not just getting it done, we're doing it joyfully. And of course, that goes for all 12 signs. So true. We need to be bringing the joy in. Whistle while you work. Do things that help you feel joyful while you do the mundane tasks. Listen to a podcast. Listen to your favorite music. Do the things that can help you feel joy while you're doing things throughout your day. AC said she just saw 111. All right. Yeah, because you're an hour ahead of me. Great. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, definitely listen to Capricorn for you then. All right. So we've got the Aquarians. What do we have for the Aquarians for this full moon? We have, for health and fitness, sunlight. Yeah, I'm getting for the Aquarians or for the Aquas, I should say, is easier. You guys really have your head in your work right now. You have your head in your books, like you're really focused on doing something or completing a project. And I'm getting that you need to get outside a little more. And can you take your laptop outside? Can you schedule time for a walk outside in the sun? Obviously not a healthcare provider, do the things you need to do to protect yourself. But I think I'm getting for most Aquas, it's like you've had your head down working hard on something and you really need to get outside. Even scoot your desk by the window so you can enjoy some sunlight, right, coming through the window. When I rearranged this office so that both of my desks are right, I have my desk where I have this, I should show you guys that sometime, how the studio looks, but I have this desk that has all my equipment, so there's no room to actually work, and then I have my desk right here. I used to have them in an L shape away from each other, and it was just not comfortable. When I faced them both the same way, facing the window where I could really feel the sunlight coming through, it changed everything for me. And it's funny because I was being a stickler. I was trying to really follow the feng shui principle of like not having the door to my back and, following the back walls, which I still do follow feng shui principles, but it didn't matter. This made me feel so much more joyful and made me enjoy working here so much more. It really shifted things. And all I have to do is lock the door and I don't feel like somebody's about to barge in on me. So there's things you can do for that. For all 12 signs, I'm saying this to all of you, to shift your work environment to really help you. Oh, I just took off your sign and we haven't done your third card. Sorry, Aquas. We haven't done second or third card. Little tangent I went off on there. But there is something about your work environment where you could get more sunlight and it's going to help you. All right. So for your career and finance, let's switch where you can see my card here. Your card. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You've finished one part of your life and now a new and even better part is beginning. All right, Aquas, it's time to move to the next phase of your career, your finances. Maybe you're retiring and you're going to start that next phase. But Aquas, goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You may be leaving a job, an organization, a group of people, but there's something you're saying goodbye to, hello to the new, and this is going to really benefit your career and finance. So coming up for your relationships, we have children. Your love life is being affected by children. Okay, so I don't read this literally. There may be children in your life that's affecting your love life. Like maybe your spouse has children and you came together after they had children, or maybe it's your spouse's nieces and nephews. But I'm actually getting that there's somebody in your environment that acts like a child, and this is affecting your romance. So I'm not getting that it's actually your romantic partner that's acting like a child. It's someone else that is constantly wanting your attention and not respecting your boundaries so that you can focus on your time with your romantic partner. So you know what this is for you, Aquas, but it could be that just maybe your child is just constantly needing your attention and you're not making the time for your spouse or your romantic partner. But there is something here around that. It might not even be that the child is necessarily acting out or acting like a child in a negative way. It's just that this child needs your attention right now, and that's affecting your romance as well. So make sure you are holding space for the relationships you want in your life, and it's that give and take, right, Aquas? All right, so we're going to move on to the lovely Pisces here. Margie says, do you follow feng shui for your organization, your house? I do, Margie, to the best of my ability. I love this question. Thank you, Margie. Yes, I do apply feng shui principles in my home, but I don't do it to the point that it's uncomfortable. I want it to feel good first, right? And I learned this from other feng shui experts that I've listened to over the years. It's more about the flow of the energy and how it feels. So if you're applying a feng shui principle exactly, but when you walk in the room, you're like, ugh, like that's not going with the flow of the energy. There's obviously something off there. So it could just take a little bit of rearranging of the furniture or just moving things around a little differently to help it feel better. But for the most part, I really try to pay attention to those things as far as just when I'm thinking through the colors, the things that feel good. But I certainly, the example I used with the office, once I got over that initial, one of the basic feng shui principles for offices is that you always have your back to a solid wall and you always face the door. That way you can see customers come in, you can see things come through the door and you're not caught off guard. However, we have things nowadays in modern technology like locks on our door, Google cameras that tell us who's around, things like that. So I wouldn't stop yourself from doing something that feels better just because of a feng shui principle. In fact, I follow Dana. Let's see, for those of you who know me from Leading Out Loud, I am so sorry, I'm blanking off the top of my head, but she's a feng shui teacher that I follow on Instagram, and I met her last year. She's wonderful. She talks a lot about, in today's modern world, we can't adhere so strictly to the feng shui principles to the point that it doesn't feel good. It's more about the energy and the flow, right? And honoring that. So great question there, Margie. Thank you. Yeah, you're agreeing with the energy. I love it. All right, Pisces, thank you for being patient. As always, what do we have for the Pisces for this full moon? I'm going to move these other cards out of the way, pop these in, and then we're going to get to your bonus messages. All righty. As soon as I get a chance when we get off this live, I won't be able to do it immediately, but as soon as we get off, within today, I will get timestamps up so you can go back easily. All right, so for Pisces, we have for health and fitness, and it says acceptance. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, please help me accept that everything is going in the right direction. Yeah, I have been getting this for Pisces lately, that there's been some resistance to the current energy. There's been this this second guessing of the way things are going, and it's getting you in a little bit of a rut, especially regarding your health and fitness. And it's accepting the divine flow and accepting that it's more like you're not doing something for your health and fitness because of the energy. And this is your spiritual team saying, hey, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Accept the way it is right now. Trust your intuition and be in divine flow. Call in that energetic protection and go out there and do the things you want to do. And just accept the current state of energy so that you can do the things that will better your health and fitness. And of course, when I say accept, I'm not saying settle. And I'm not saying don't do anything about it. Like, oh, it is the way it is, right? It's more accepting the current circumstances and then taking action on it is what I'm getting for the Pisces. And then for the career and finance for the Pisces, I am getting walk away, leave the unhealthy situation behind, and enjoy the new doors that open as a result. See, this is still tying in for me for Pisces with the initial card about accepting. It's like there is things you need to get out there and do. I'm actually getting like, instead of walk away, it's not that. Now we do have the full moon, so you may be walking away from a project or a relationship or something like that. But it could also be that you just need to get out there. Like you need to walk away from the current environment you're in to get that new perspective. And so again, it could be like, maybe normally you don't take any days off during the week, but you're going to start taking, the middle of the week off and go do something different that's active, that's going to allow you to get a new perspective. And then you return to work in a fresh way, especially since this is coming up in your career and finance. For your relationships, Pisces, we have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Wow. What's the first thing that popped into your mind? First person, Pisces. Is it an ex, like a romantic partner? Is it an old buddy of yours? Is it somebody you've worked with in the past and you're like, oh, I've always wanted to work with them again, and now suddenly you're going to be working together again? But it is going to take you getting out of this current cycle you're in and trying something different, accepting that you're going to have to be willing to be vulnerable, accepting that you're going to have to change up your daily routine a little bit, maybe your weekly routine. And then you're going to be running into this person and really it's going to really benefit you. So I feel like changing, the big thing with the full moon is like changing something. You're releasing some hard boundary you have around something with this full moon, and that's going to help you get into this new energetic pattern where you're reuniting with somebody. So that's exciting, Pisces. Let me know who it is for you. Let's go do our bonus messages here. Alrighty. We always do. Oh, I'm glad, Mary. Thank you. She said the Scorpio is spot on for you. Yes, taking a break is underrated, right? My husband works from home with me, and he does a totally separate thing, but he works from home. And I can't tell you how many times a day I pop my head into his office to say something and he's not in there. I'm like, where is he now? Well, I was telling my friend the other day, he's like naturally good at taking a break. He'll just pop up and, go pet the cats or go outside and get the mail and it's so much better for your posture and your overall, break. I tend to put my head down and get as much done as I can because I know the kids are going to come home from school and it's going to be busy. I'm not going to be able to be as focused, but I need to be better about that. It's hard not to just get it done when it's right in front of you, but taking a break is well worth it. All right. So we have the bonus messages here. Let me Let me remember the timestamp for that. I always tend to forget that. For the bonus messages for this full moon, we have the present energy, near future energy, and future energy with 2 actions to take. So coming up in the present energy, we have the 2 of water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. Yeah, I am getting that things are going to be revealed with this full moon, and it's going to bring a lot of healing. It's going to help you see your way through things. I mean, I know Virgo got it, but we really all need to be thinking about the heart-to-heart conversations that we need to have. And with this present energy here, it's allowing that healing to happen, releasing harsh judgment around ourselves and others with this full moon. And that's going to really help us with growing these relationships to the next level. Now for the near future energy, we have the Knight of Fire, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, a sudden event that needs attention. Think things through carefully. Yeah. So whenever I see this card in particular, I tend to hear and feel the energy of someone who's impulsive, like the person that buys something just because it's on sale, not because they need it, or they buy it because it's in the checkout line. It's standing there staring. I was like, oh, I'll get that, So thinking things through carefully. Also with this full moon energy, I'm feeling that it's also meaning like coming up soon. You're going to have this feeling of like, I just want to get it done. I just want to get there, like get there-itis, right? And the guidance here is to make sure you are thinking things through carefully, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, not overlooking things just because you're so anxious to finally get it done. So moving on to the future card, we have 8 of Earth. It says skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. Well, hearkening back to the Celtic cross there, we had the guidance about being willing to invest in something new, right? And maybe this is learning a new skill, taking an online class, and I am getting that basically you're going to be letting go of something with this full moon that's going to give you the opportunity to invest in a new skill or take your skills to a new level. So that's really exciting, really. I mean, when you think about it, you've got to make room in your schedule. So let something go, remove something, release something to have that time to study or take on that new skill. So let's see what actions we have coming up for us. We have the first action is 7 of Air. It says plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eye, poor timing. So for this being an action card, I am getting that you are revising plans with this full moon. It's causing you to step back, look at things from a different perspective, take that 30,000-foot perspective that the angels do, and just revise things, change things, release things. If you were going to go on a 10-day trip this summer, but it's stressing you out what the cost is going to be and you're worried about work or whatever, maybe you're revising that to a 5-day trip and then you're doing a little weekend trip later on in the year. So it can be things that you're just reviewing and releasing, but it's going to bring you that peace of mind, because this 7 of Air card is also like too many thoughts, too many things going on. And it's like you're not clear on what you're doing moving forward. So you need to basically go back and review your plans, look at everything, and then see, do I really want this? Is there something I could change here? And I think that's going to be really valuable with this full moon energy. And then for the second action to take, we have the High Priestess card. It says, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. Well, this is just validating everything we got again in the Celtic cross that I was talking about. Listening to your intuition starting right now at the time you're hearing these messages, leading up to and through and after the full moon. Because remember, the collective energy is all feeling this, but not everybody is listening to their intuition the way you are. So trust your divine team. Make sure that you are writing down anything that really pops up for you in dreams, especially with this being this deep water sign we have. And just make sure that you're listening to your intuition with the things that you're revising. So there are things that you might change the plan because it's the logical thing to do, but your intuition is saying, but I feel like if we did that, it would be a good thing. Or you're saying, I have to do it this way because this is the way we always do it, and your intuition is saying, no, there's a different way that's actually going to be way better for you. So I'll just give you a chance to look at these cards one more time for these bonus messages. Thank you all so much for being here. And please continue to like and share. We will have more angel messages coming up on Monday at the time of this full moon. So I hope you will check that out. I've already uploaded them, so you can hit the notify me button. It will add to this energy. And of course, I will be back here Wednesday, 11 a.m. Central for our lives together every week. I love it so much. I love connecting with you. And remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.